Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today I'm kind of getting a day off and I'm going to make Caleb do all the work. Got to earn that rent, right? And we're going to talk about the system we use when it comes to pairing and how we do things. And the easiest way to do that is actually to do it while we're pairing snakes. So Caleb just moved our super exanthic spider bumblebee into our fire yellow belly-head exanthic female. And so what you're going to see while he does this, and he's doing another one now, which will be our ghost female to our lesser spider ghost over here, is we use a clip system to do this that we designed, and other people may use the exact same thing. Hell, I don't know. A lot of people use things like ID cards, they clip and they do that, and that works well and good, and there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I'm just going to tell you what we've come up with, why I like it, what it allows us to do, and where I think it excels over some other things, because it definitely helps when you have multiple male or one male breeding multiple females. So as you can see, as Caleb's moving these snakes around, the first thing he does is look at the name on the snake. So the label is the snake who lives there. The white writing that you're seeing is the male that is scheduled to breed that female. So in this case it's Diesel, which is a name. So we know it's a killer bee super pastel exanthic. This one was a lesser spider ghost breeding a ghost. Inchy clown breeding a het clown possible caramel. Over there is a pastel lesser desert ghost. Het cryptic going to a het clown. So you can kind of see what's going on. You're going to notice when he does this, he is grabbing a clip, which you're going to see here if he doesn't get bit right now. So the clips are all oriented to the left. That clip on the left means there is no snake in there to breed, but that is where the male is supposed to go next. So he puts the snake in there for breed purposes, simply grabs the clip, moves it to the middle. The clip in the middle tells us that there are snakes now paired up. So then what I will do throughout the week, or Caleb or whoever's here, we're going to come, we're going to peek at those snakes, right? And we're going to see what's going on. Are they banging? Are they doing this? Are they clear apart from each other? What is going on? As we've grown, there's a few things we realized we also needed to track. There goes a pastel spot nose to an orange dream. And that is which males are locking, which males aren't. The hope is by knowing what males are locking and what males aren't, if we need to switch a male out, or if there's a male who needs some tricks to help him get locked up, we will spot that. So you're going to see on a lot of these tubs a green L. Now I didn't start this week one, unfortunately. It's something I figured out a little bit later. That green L simply means that on that we've observed a visual lock. So I know my blitz male is locking. He's locked with my super pastel lesser. He's locked with my blitz female. However, if I look over here, there's somewhere where there's a blitz going, I thought, to the cine. He has not locked here yet. So what I know about my blitz male is that he's doing the job. She's probably just not putting off the pheromones yet or saying no to him. But he's getting the job done. So it allows us to track and see what's going on with individual pairings. But if I was looking and I didn't have an L anywhere my blitz male was going and we were a little later in the season, then I would start to say, hey, maybe I need to swap this male out. Maybe I need to put a shed in from a different male. Maybe I need to do the old sperm plug wipe. Maybe I need to do something to help this along. So it just gives us that ability to track what's going on in the room at a glance. I like my information to come at me very easily and efficiently. I don't want to have to open my phone. I don't want to have to dig through menus. I don't want to dig through shit. I can look at my tub and I can tell exactly what's going on. Like right here, again, we'll pick on what we haven't picked on. Right here, I know I've got a Juno Champagne female being bred to a Pastel Super Inchy Vanilla Ghost. I know the Pastel Super Inchy Vanilla Ghost is in there at a glance, and I know I have not had a visual observed lock yet. Bam! You get that information in no time flat. So what do we do with these clips at the end of breeding? As Caleb's still moving stuff around. So let's say we get to Thursday, which is typically when we'll stop breeding because we're going to feed on Friday. So Thursday, I move males out. I would simply pull that super pastel exanthic out if they're not locked, put him back where he goes, pop the tab off, and then I would look, so I don't forget where he's at now, and I would read. We always read left to right, top to bottom. So we set this up like a book. You read it like a book. Top to bottom, left to right, right? So we are here. We're going to read left to right, and we're going to look for the next super pastel exanthic. And we're going to keep on going until we find one. And somewhere we would find one. I don't know where one's at, but we'll find one. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's even on this rack. So if we read this entire rack, we always start with the big rack. We then would go to this rack and start reading over here. Oh, look, super pastel xanthic. And then when I pull that male, this tab then goes here on the left. So the next week it can move to the right and it can move back through. Once you're all the way through and he's made it to everywhere, once a week, you come back to where you originally started and you go there again. And we just kind of start the process over. What that makes sure happens for me is really simple. When we're doing that, it makes sure that the males are equally distributed to the females. So one female ain't getting all the attention. I used to just do it by memory. This is obviously more than I can remember anymore, so we had to come up with a system. These clips are cheap, they're easy, they're effective, they're just right there. So it's just a good way to make sure it's getting done across the board. What are you looking for?
Paul.
Was he not in there?
No.
Is he still breeding?
Possibly.
Was it still in the middle? It was still in the middle.
Yeah.
He was still locked up. So that's the other thing is when we go to pull, sometimes I'll leave them in the middle because he's still locked up. In that case, when he's actually done, we will skip until next week because I do need to give him a week in between sometimes. And, we have a way to mark that too. We just flip the tab up. So that, in a nutshell, is how we do our pairings. It's really pretty simple, but I think it's very, very effective. I think every year we kind of perfect this. Adding the L's this year helps a lot, and that's kind of where we're at. Kurt, any questions about how we do this while Caleb's still rocking through here?
How many females do you breed one male to?
So this a little bit, it kind of depends. If it's a new male or a smaller male, I like to keep it pretty low just to give him more options. If it's a male that's got some size or some experience, we like to go up to 3. I have pushed it to 4 before if it's a really well-proven male. I don't usually go more than that. Here's my reasoning. I'm not going to breed him any harder breeding him to 3 or 4 females. He's going to get paired once a week regardless. We used to try to pair to multiple females in a week. I don't see really a need for that. We kind of stopped doing that. We're also going to make sure that each, he gets a break before he goes to the next female, so each female's getting, good viable sperm is the hope since they're in a once a week order. But having that male going to one female, if he's doesn't breed every time, or if he goes off food and I need to stop where he's only going to get a month of pairing in instead of 3 months like some of these will, there's a better chance of getting that breeding done. So it really depends on the male, but I really don't like to go over 3, and although I have once or twice, it's only with certain males. Certain males we won't do it at all. Pastelis or Desert Ghost had Cryptic. I know he's going to be kind of a crap eater during breed season sometimes. I also know my my ghost male will be a crap eater during breed season, the Pastel Super Inchy Vanilla Ghost. So we had to get another ghost male. So you just got to kind of play it by ear on that. But about 3 is, I say, a good number. Did you about get popped or did you get popped? You got popped? Are you bleeding?
No. Shit.
So you got to bite on camera. This wasn't me, like Stacky. So anyway, any other questions, Kurt?
So how long is the male in the tub? Like, what's it like a week cycle for him? Like, when do you pull, when you put him in?
So we're a little late this week because we knew we were going to be filming today, so I kind of held off. Typically we feed on Friday, right? And then I'll leave them all alone Saturday. I won't do anything with them Saturday. I give them today to just digest and settle down. And then I will move them on Sunday. Today we're doing it on Monday. And on Sunday I will put them in their respective tub with respective female. And then I will leave them there Sunday. Now if I envision a lock and I see the lock finish, I'll go ahead and move the male back, give them a little extra time off. But we'll leave them there Sunday through Thursday, typically. So they'll be there Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. And then on Thursday, I'm pulling those males back out. And I'm putting them, usually, unless I don't have time, we do it on Friday, I'm putting them back in their house to settle down, have a night there, so that we can feed on Friday, and then kind of wash, rinse, repeat. So it's about 4 or 5 nights out of the whole cycle. About 4, and then they get about 3 off. So they work the same schedule I do, 4 10-hour shifts. Well, I used to. Now I'm working 5. But yeah, that's kind of how long we spend. Any other questions?
How many snakes are you breeding this year?
You're just asking questions so we can keep Caleb working and keep me out of it. I really like your plan. We're breeding a shit ton for us. So this whole rack is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. However, there's one that's not breeding breakfast male. So there's like 49 over here. There's probably about 70 total that we could be breeding.
I think we counted 73.
That sounds about right, that we could be pairing. A lot of them are first-time females. So in our business world, we are still ramping up, right? So there's a lot of things that are just coming online for the first time, and you're going to see those numbers increase because of that every year until we get to where we want to be, which will be about 120 females that are ready to go. So, any other questions? All right, and look at that. You asked just enough questions that Caleb is almost done. God, I think 3 left.
Yeah.
Don't forget the snow.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is all. Caleb, anything you want to add before we go? You weren't really paying attention. You were working, busting ass.
I don't know if you said it, but like something I do, and I'm sure you do as well, is the same way. I know you talked about when you pull, reading it like a book. Same way when I pair, I could have easily just moved down a row real quick and done this one, but then I might get out of the habit and start going this way, and then I skip 3. So same way as I pull, same way I pair. Top all the way. Even if I look and see that out of the corner of my eye that this is empty, I will still go, and I visually...
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll have these metal ones, they kind of blend into the gray tubs if you're in a hurry. So I physically touch each thing just to make sure.
I don't physically touch them. I probably should because Kurt will tell you it's not uncommon. I miss 1 or 2 when I pull. But oh shit, he's still in there. My bad. And Kurt's like trying to feed the males. He goes, hey, where the fuck is this one? I'm like, oh yeah, hold on a second. That happens. So touch them's a good idea. Now you mentioned the reading left to right when you pair. Yeah, we read left to right when we pair. We read left to right when we pull. We read left to right when we feed. So we do everything the same way every time. And that's the only thing I think is different is sometimes the order when we feed. We start typically with, I think. You start with this rack, don't you? No, that
feed?
rack. Well, over there, then here,
Yeah.
then here, then here, and then here. When we pair,
Yeah, it's all left to right.
when we pair, I start here. And so it's here, then here, and then here. There's nothing over there that ever gets paired. So we just have a different starting point. But it's always top to bottom, left to right. Do it the same way every time. And you don't have to remember or worry about making a mistake. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, guys, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. And we're going to go over to Patreon and talk about something cool. I'll figure it out in a minute. We'll see you guys next time.